We're live.
Matty,
Welcome.
Matty Ice.
What's up, my brother?
What's up, brother? Good to be
Dude, what's going on? So, the episode number 1 of the Full Fuel podcast. Dude, I'm so excited about this.
Me too.
So excited.
Yeah, long time coming. Bro.
Yeah, man, we've just been planning it out. We're like, let's execute now.
Yeah.
So we got Blake behind the scenes. We got Austin. I love what's going on here.
Love
Dude,
the vibe in here.
dude, the vibe, the setup,
It's perfect,
everything.
yeah.
Dude, it's perfect right now. But let's dive in a little bit. Tell the people who you are, and then I'll go next, bro.
Yeah. So my name's Dr. Alfred Alessi. I am a chiropractor, functional medicine doctor, and integrative health practitioner. I like to slap that on there because that's something I worked hard at. And essentially, what all that means is I help people get to the root cause of health issues, right? And that's kind of a lot of the background of this podcast.
Yeah.
You and I resonate heavily on the same side of let's not just survive, right? Let's not just get through life and scrape through your days, which I've been there. I've lived that life.
100%.
It's just kind of like not very fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's not very fulfilling, right?
Full fueling at all.
Back to the name of this show,
I
right?
love it.
But honestly, man, like that's the whole purpose here is like how do we help people take even little steps, man, baby steps,
Yeah.
towards optimizing themselves, their family, their health, their career, all of it. Right?
Yeah.
We'll touch on all that stuff, I believe. So
How'd you become a chiropractor? Not a chiropractor, man. I'm like talking you down already, dude. You're more than that.
yeah, I mean,
Obviously,
that's,
but, like,
that's where my license is, my degree,
Yeah.
right? But yeah, man, it was I started as a personal trainer, right? So I in college was studying exercise science, personal training, and I loved it. Honestly, it was a good fit for me because I've always been an athlete my whole life. So
Yeah.
played college lacrosse at UCF, was personal training, and then really the shift was I had an injury, so I separated my shoulder, grade 5 separation. Basically, every ligament that holds your shoulder together was just gone, torn, shredded. Yeah. The only thing that didn't happen was my clavicle didn't come out of the skin, so that was cool. But other than that, it was gone. So I went to the hospital and they were basically like, you could have surgery and operate functionally again.
Yeah.
If you elect to not have surgery, you'll probably never use your arm again. I was like, well, I kind of want to be able to use my arm.
Yeah.
That's pretty important.
Yeah,
Right-handed.
right.
So yeah, I'm not gonna not do that. So yeah, so I had surgery and really, man, the surgery went well, but there was just like lingering issues, lingering pain, developed arthritis, nerve pain, and I'd go to the doc and they were kind of like, well, this is just gonna be
Part of
what
life.
it is. Yeah, you're just gonna deal with that. I don't know why, like I couldn't accept that. It's
Yeah.
just like that sucks. Like I don't want to take that as like the end all, right?
Yeah.
So had a friend who was in chiropractic school and he was like, man, you should go see a chiropractor. So I went and saw a guy. We did laser, which I knew nothing about.
Yeah.
Class 4 laser, so it's like a hot laser.
Uh-huh.
There's different levels of laser, obviously, but did laser like for an hour. I would just go sit in his office and laser in the back room. And then he would adjust me. He would obviously get, we did some functional neurology. So basically like resetting the way the muscles in the brain
I love that.
interact,
Yeah.
right? So every muscle has alpha motor neurons that are directly tied to your brain. So your brain is able to tell you when to move muscle, right? This just doesn't happen automatically.
Yeah.
But that connection gets disrupted when there's injury or when there's swelling or anything like that, right?
Yeah.
So like retraining how the shoulder girdle would actually operate. And man, pain-free, like within 2 months of doing those treatments. And I was
Crazy.
like, all right, like, so this guy's onto something. And so for me, that kind of sparked like, I should look into this
Yeah.
and see what it's all about. So I enrolled, got into chiropractic school. So I was originally going to do PT school. I wanted to be a PT. So glad I didn't do that. Nothing against PTs, man. I for where my personality and the way I see things, like chiropractic is like perfect fit.
Dude, that is the point of like this podcast right there. Is knowing that that story behind it, and then we're gonna get like all sorts of nerdy, just like you just did for a second, on understanding kind of that association between of how you can get to the root cause and really live pain free, kind of no matter where you're at, right? I truly believe it doesn't even matter what age you're at.
Yeah.
If you make a decision, you can become pain free. You just got to identify what the root cause is. You did that. Obviously, you've now made it a career, and now we're hosting this podcast, telling people, what amazing things. I'm at Tack.
Tell us about yourself, bro.
Dude,
Go.
for me, little bit less of a crazy journey, but one of the things that like resonates what you saying is that you've always been an athlete. For me, I thought that I had to give up on my athlete, right? I consider myself a failed athlete after high school. I was getting looks, but didn't get the quality looks that I wanted. In terms of scholarship offers, I was planning on playing basketball. My whole goal through that was play Division I basketball, and didn't get offers from Division I schools. Was getting looked at, but didn't get the official offers. And like, so I went into this like pity fest and was like, screw basketball. It's all on my coaches. And then led me to Oakland University, which, to be honest with you, I friggin' dominated intramural.
I dominated individual sports.
I was like, so you know what's
yeah.
funny about that? This is like hilarious, but my dad got inducted into. I'm going off on a rabbit, chasing a rabbit right now, but this all I'm sure happened often, by the way. But the my dad got inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame, which is part of the reason why I wanted to play Division I basketball. My dad went to the University of North Dakota, was a 2-sport athlete, not a star, but just like he was the guy. And his basketball team got inducted into the Hall of Fame 2 years ago, and it actually just came up on my Facebook feed that it got inducted. He got like the memory popped up. So, anyways, I fly out to North Dakota. He's getting inducted in the Hall of Fame, and his team is. They go up on the stage. It's really, really cool weekend. And I'm like, Dad, you'll have to come back to Oakland when I get inducted to the Intramural Hall of Fame.
He's like, oh.
So, anyways, I blamed it on, I just played this blame game like after high school, went through college, still like lifted weights and did all these other things. And man, I'm so grateful I went through that season. I wouldn't want to go back to it, but like, I wouldn't say my mindset was good, but it also led me into this like kind of like area of depression of like, man, I'll never be able to play sports again. Now it's like work, right? And
like it's over. Like the time has passed.
It's over. Yeah. My best days are behind me. Yeah. And man, over the course, to speed it up, I went through a state of depression in my mid-20s of just like thinking, my best days are gone. And I really don't have anything really to look forward to. And then honestly, man, we resonate on a faith component. God just really got hold of my heart in my mid-20s, and he's like, look, man, get it together. So like my testimony really is, I went into the Celebrate Recovery program, and I thought it was for drug addicts. I'm like, I don't need this, but I had a deteriorating headspace, had just honestly gotten married, and then came out of that with honestly where I'm at now today. I had one mission in life, and that was to empower and encourage. And he said I had to empower and encourage my wife. That was the first thing that I had to do, because at that point I wanted to divorce my wife. And I can sit here and on this podcast say, like 12 years later, coming up on 12 years of marriage, that I'm abundantly blessed, that it has like been an amazing journey. And faith is a really big component of my life, but through this process has become of like, I'm still an athlete.
Yeah.
And I don't have to give up on my athlete, and I can bring things into my life that allow me to be a dominant physical individual. Yeah. And over the course of, I would say, the better part of 5-6 years, I've gotten to the root cause of maybe, some lingering like knee issues and various things. But I'm like, do I have to accept the aging process, or do I not accept that and live like through with a lot of vitality the remainder of my days? And so, dude, that's where I'm here. Yeah. I'm not a doctor, but I sure have done a lot of research, and obviously started now a company called Nutritious, where it's basically we want to get to some of these root causes, and I empower people to be the absolute most dominant version of themselves. Yeah. So super excited about that, man.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah,
kind of expounding on that, man. It's like you can accept that if you want to. That you're just gonna age, you're gonna get old, you're gonna break down. Like you can totally, that can be your mindset. But then that's you're gonna live a pretty bleak life. Mm-hmm. Or you can say, hey, what can I do to delay that and ultimately push that aging process off.
Right.
And there's so much we can do. I mean, that's, wow, what a segue. This is naturally going to organically become when I talk about how we're going to like lay out this show.
Yeah.
We're going to touch on what we call like the 6 pillars of optimization and performance and longevity, right?
Yeah.
That being the fuel you put into your body,
That's right.
movement, your work, right? Like what you deliver purpose into. Spirit, there's a spiritual component there as
Huge.
well. I got them written down here to make sure.
Let's do it, man. Yeah.
As well as
the physical.
Yeah, we touched on that.
Oh,
your mind and your sleep, right?
Huge.
Because those are the 2 big ones. If you're not sleeping, man, you know what that does. Everyone knows what sleep does.
I'm right? So excited to actually go over that season of sleep. Just the hormonal balances and people don't understand the chemicals,
right?
The chemical reactions, but sleep is the narrative of that. It kind of sets the baseline, so I'm super excited about that.
Yeah, and so with this show, what we're going to do is we're going to break into seasons, man. I would love to like expound on each one of those topics over a few episodes, right?
Yeah.
Get into some nitty gritty stuff, touch on different points, bring in some people.
Yeah,
right? I know you know people that are leaders in the fields, and as well as myself. So bringing in guests and interviewing and just keeping it entertaining, man.
Yeah,
what we're doing is serving people, obviously, but not putting them to sleep at the same time.
Love it. And then what we're gonna do, so setting expectations for the show, we're gonna do about 3 episodes per season, but we might go a little bit longer if it's a little bit more in depth of how we want to do it. So we'll let you guys know how long we're gonna go with the seasons as far as per episode. Because we might do 4 or 5, let's say, if sleep does take us in a direction where we want to dig a little bit deeper, we bring some people on.
Yeah.
We can always go a little bit longer. And then what we're going to do, we have a few questions from audience today, but we're going to end every episode with audience questions that we can answer to the best of our knowledge. And then if we have to bring in some other expertise at a higher level that we can tap into, we certainly can do that, because one of the most important things about life is obviously curiosity and being able to say, actually don't know the answer to that question.
Yeah.
And then being able to find it out. And that's what I enjoy most about life is just tapping into new questions that I don't know that lead to new answers and cultivating new mindset. So that's I think a wrap for intro number 1 of Full Fueled. You got anything else, brother?
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure we can always cut this part out, but like we could roll right into what we're going to talk about for our first episode. I mean, just go right into it.
What do you think, Blake? Yeah, let's just do the pilot. Let's cut it there. That can actually be all it.
Don't cut any of that, right? I love it.
Super transparent.
I'm excited, man. So yeah, I think that the trajectory of what we're going to talk about is going to help a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff, man, it sounds like maybe common knowledge. Like everyone knows I need to sleep. Everyone knows we need to eat healthy. Like, but do you, right? But what does that look like, right? So many people are out there, man. Just quick rabbit hole before we wrap up. But
this is all right. Is this on air? Like, are we on air right now? Yeah, let's do it on air. Let's go. Let's keep going.
Yeah, I mean, just like people thinking that what they're eating is healthy when realistically it's like being touted as healthy by these companies that are trying to make money.
Yeah.
So they say it's healthy. They put organic on the label. They put superfood on it. But where is that coming from, right? What is that product actually doing for your body? So taking that, also a lot of what I do in my practice is individuality testing. So what might be healthy for me might not be healthy for you. Right? If I have innate sensitivities to certain foods, even if they're touted as a health food, it's going to inflame my body, right? It's going to cause me to have gut issues and stuff like that. Yeah. So knowing really what your body responds to is also huge, And we're going to obviously get into the weeds on all this stuff.
Yeah, well, let's so that we'll just segue now. Like this was the end of episode intro, we should say. Intro. This was our introduction. You kind of got familiar with who we are, but now we're tapping into nutrition, right? And so we're gonna go through fuel. We're gonna tap into the pillar of fuel. So that's a wrap for the introduction here, and we're gonna head into episode number 1.
Love it, man. Look forward to seeing you.